It's important to process your World Youth Day experience. What do I mean by that? Well, so much happened. You saw so much. You met so many people. In many ways, maybe the last week was a blur that we need to really sit back and think about the events of World Youth Day, who we met, what we experienced, what we saw, and take that to the Lord in prayer and ask the Lord, what were you speaking through these things, through these people, through these experiences? You might look back at the whole experience and think about what were some of the high points? What were some of the low points? Maybe if you could change anything, if you could say, you know what, I'll leave that aside. What are the things maybe that you would leave aside? The Lord speaks through all of it. You know, one example of a moment of grace for me was the vigil itself, the pilgrimage out that was very difficult. It was hot, it was sunny, it was crowded. The pilgrimage out, the walk out, and then sleeping outside in a dirt field. I don't sleep outside. And I had been nervous about the vigil because of this. I'm not a camper. And I look back and would I have changed that? Would I have said, you know what, I could do without the vigil? Maybe. But that was a moment of grace for me because even though I wasn't comfortable, even though it stretched me, the Lord was speaking to me in that experience. You know, I don't need the comforts of this world. I only need the Lord. And I am so incredibly blessed. The Lord was reminding me, people live like this all the time, to realize that I take so much for granted and to realize that I need to be called out of my comfort zone. The Lord is calling me to be stretched, to be uncomfortable, and to serve Him in that discomfort. And so we look back at the week and we see these moments of grace. Maybe they were the high points, maybe they were the low points. The Lord is speaking to us through all of it. And so I challenge you to really take time to write down, to make bullet points, to jot down what were the events that were the high points. What were the low points? What are ways that you were stretched? Where can you see the Lord in these experiences, in the high points, in the low points? Where were the moments of grace? You know, maybe take time to think, what were your expectations for World Youth Day? What did you expect it to be like? What did you go in expecting to feel or hear? And was the reality in line with those expectations? Where did your expectations differ from reality? And what is the Lord saying to you in that as well? And so take time to really do this exercise, to sit with the Lord in these experiences, with the people you met, the conversations you had, the writings of the Holy Father. You know, you can find all the World Youth Day speeches on the Vatican website under Pope Francis Travels. So take time to say, what was he saying to me? What was I hearing? What was I seeing? What was I experiencing? Lord, what are you saying to me in these moments? And so don't let this experience just become one of the things you did this past summer. Don't let this experience just be this vacation to Lisbon, because we know it wasn't a vacation. It was something much more. It was a pilgrimage. And now we process those moments. We ask the Lord, what do you want from me now? What were you teaching me? And now, how can I take that into my life going forward?